Hey guys, Youngblood with you in 3.2 again, and this time, no, I'm not just floating around in Arena Commander. What I'm actually doing is standing on the bridge of the magnificent 600i. This is Origin's luxury kind of mid-sized ship. You see we are on the bridge. It's fairly spacious, kind of empty spaces in here, so you may end up seeing some more stuff being added at some point, but frankly, I think I'm not expecting that. Ultimately, what you have up here is 3 chairs, and if I didn't mention it already, this is going to be kind of a tour, and then I'll end up talking about the ship in a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and get into the passenger, or the pilot seat, I should say. You can see that the arms fold down, making it nice for you to get in. Once you seat, you've got yourself a fantastic view. You know, it kind of raises up a little bit, not a lot of obstructions as far as anything that's in your way. I mean, it's just probably one of the best cockpit visibility ships in the game. You've got your standard set of controls here, and we'll fly it around in just a little bit. I want to show you something up here that's kind of interesting, because one thing that we haven't seen a lot of in this game so far has been remote turrets. However, this ship is one that has remote turrets. So these up here, which may look like you're just kind of standard, you know, like scanning station or engineering station or whatever, you'll notice I actually have a reticle here. And when you pull the trigger, the gun does some firing for you. Now that's the back turret right there. You're not really seeing this bottom one fire over here, right? So let's go ahead and move over to the other chair, which is your other kind of remote turret station. And you can see all of a sudden it's coming from underneath. So you got 2 remote turrets on this. You get the ability to actually do some targeting with that. Now, you don't have any cameras or anything, at least yet, to allow you to see where you're targeting, but still, so you're kind of limited in your firing arc as far as like these types of directions. But it's still better than nothing, right? So that's the bridge. Let's go ahead and take you back into the ship a little bit more. The bridge currently resides on the 2nd level of the ship. There are 2 levels, so it's not all that big and confusing. This is an elevator here that will take you to the 1st level or all the way to the ground if you are landed. Off to the side you have 3 emergency pods, which makes sense considering you have 3 people on the bridge. They would run out, get in these, and get out. Here is kind of where you're over the middle portion of the ship. That right there is going to be your cargo area down there. This is glass, so you can walk on it. You got the hologram here. Hopefully this ends up being something like I guess a dome that's actually working, and you can maybe use it for exploration purposes. You know, or maybe you're able to end up using it for like tracking or command and control or something. Basically, I just don't want it to just be like an element. I want it to actually be useful. But again, there's that walkway. On either side over here, you've got these sliding doors, which bring you to the scanning station in the middle, obviously important for an exploration ship, and these being scanning stations is what makes me hope that is a usable space over there, because then you can almost envision like an officer watching over this instead of looking at one of these little screens. You know, we can go ahead and get in if you want to see what that looks like. Pops up, you've got your standard displays with the menu, comms, and all that kind of stuff. Just note, a lot of these don't have exit markers on them, so it can be hard to get out. If you ever get stuck and when you're in yours, just hold the H button and it'll pop you right out. That one does exactly the same thing. Come a little bit further back, you've got kind of the rear elevator. This one will take you between the 1st and 2nd floor. It won't ever end up taking you down to the ground from that location. That's only the front elevator. As we move further back, we kind of get into the component room. You'll notice it's a difference in lighting. This out here is kind of, you know, a little bit warmer. You get in here and it's blue and a little bit more industrial. That's by design. So you got some suits and armor stuff here. I don't think these are interactive yet. No. So you got storage, you know, storage. It's kind of like your armory area. And that's basically what this section is. We'll end up getting to the actual component room, but yeah, this is going to be like your armor, spacesuits, weapons, all that kind of stuff. Come back in here and we get into the more like crew module area, the entertaining area, if you will. You've got your onboard bar, which is so perfect in an Origin luxury ship like this. You know, perfect for entertaining whoever you have on board, including some bar stools, which we can go ahead and jump in and take a look around. Ba, 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 ba. Very fancy. Let's go ahead and pop off of this. And then, as you continue down, end up getting to a nice little table. You've got yourself a couch. If you do engage in combat, you've got the ability to watch the turret do some work right there, which is kind of funny. We can go ahead and take the stairs down to the lower level. Down here you've got a TV, which will be really interesting, so you can watch stuff in the verse while you're flying around in the verse. Back here you've got some plants on board, which I love. You don't see hardly any of that in any of these, as well as a pool table. Very cool. Again, you've got more plants over here. You've got doors on each side. I'll show you that in a sec. Kind of a kitchen area, including some, like, I guess more liquor. You got food and stuff. It's one of the nicer kitchenettes I've seen in the game, which you would expect. This is your refrigerator right here with an ice dispenser and water dispenser. Little dining area for the crew, or whoever you're entertaining. This side we get into the component area. This is what I was talking about earlier. You've got all this different spacing in here, so you know you got modules, you've got engineering, and it's going to be where ideally the people you're transporting never get to see, but it's going to be easily accessible for everybody that you're bringing along to be able to work on the ship in a kind of a secluded area where everything's all in one place. I don't really know what's behind here, to be honest with you. I kind of want to open it up and see. You can kind of peek and see there's like some big components, so maybe that's going to be like your power plant or something that's stored back there and it's just shielded to protect things. We'll have to see. And then if we come out and go back to the other side, it's the same thing. We get more component housing, and then you come back in here and it's basically mirror image, except you get two of these. Well, it kind of looked like it moved for a sec, didn't it? No, not going to open. So these will happen at some point, but I think the ones that are shielded are going to be your more critical or components that could maybe have an impact on like your scanning. So things like power plants or shields, like the high output things may be in there. So you know, it's less dangerous, it's less likely to get, you know, damaged, it's less likely to put out a signal, that type of thing. So let's go ahead and pop back out here, and we will go down a level to the cargo area. There it is. See here, you only have one option from here, it's the lower deck. So we'll go ahead and start by working out the backside. This is just artwork. There's nothing really to it. This, however, is your crew area. So you've got 1 bed, 2 bed, 3 bed, 4 bed. It's nice. It's got some wood paneling. You'd almost expect some sort of like privacy. So it would be cool if you saw some like sort of like screen come down to give people a little bit more privacy on what's known to be like a luxury ship. But I mean, it doesn't look bad. And you've got kind of couch areas along the edge too. From here, you've got some like closets or storage or something. You've got more of the actual escape pods. You've got 4, so 1 for everybody that's currently in the bed. You've got some lockers in here with space to hang goods. You've got another one over here, so 1 for every crew member. You've got your bathrooms. I said open. It's not going to cooperate, huh? Okay, well, you have 2 bathrooms on board. You've also got a medical station there, which is nice. Apparently we need to change the air filter because there is stuff floating all over the place. Come back up, then we enter into the cargo area. Fairly spacious, not large by any means. This right here is going to be the elevator for easy cargo access. Come down here a little bit further, you're basically right underneath. So this is that front like observation area. Again, more plants. You've got the luxury bedding right here. I think this is actually the captain's quarters, if I remember right. But how would you like to wake up to this? You know, wake up and that's your view. Unless, of course, you decide to wake up and there's like a vandal attacking your ship and they're right in front of you. That'd probably scare your pants off. Over here, you got a little desk area. Some books. More plants. Just nice looking area. And then this is your other elevator area. Again, this one should give you the exit to surface, which takes you out of the ship, and then top deck. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us up to the upper deck, and we will fly it around a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit more specifics about this ship itself. So as far as the flight in the 600 goes, I mean, it's an interesting bird. As far as its STM top speed, it's about 145 meters per second, so, you know, faster than something like a Starfarer, but slower than something like a Constellation. It feels a bit sluggish. As far as the top speed overall in cruise mode, you can get up to about 950 meters per second, although it takes a long time to get up there. You know, we listened back to what this ship was supposed to be. It was supposed to be one of the fastest ships in the verse, supposed to be very easy to get away from threats that were coming in, but I think what we got in Extend was just a big, heavy ship. So if they want to be true to the lore and kind of how they sold the ship, I would expect to see some improvements on that. As far as the agility and maneuverability of the ship is concerned, it's okay. Alright, you know, it's a big ship. You expect it to be a little bit sluggish. Here's where I think it's a little bit unique. As far as actually starting a maneuver, it's really slow and cumbersome. It takes a long time to get the ship to roll or to bank or do anything like that. However, it's very responsive if you wanted to get it to stop doing whatever it's doing. I find that a little bit odd because you're talking about, you know, momentum either way and inherited inertia, and you've got maneuvering thrusters that are handling all of that. But either way, the way it works out is, at least to me, it feels like it corrects itself or it stops its movements very well, which means that you're very unlikely to have catastrophic issues as far as running into objects. But as far as like making last-minute maneuvers to change your course, that thing isn't going to move the way you want it to move. You know, other than that, though, I think it's not very agile, but it's better than some of the other ships. You know, it's certainly better than flying a Starfarer around too. The view overall is hands down the best big, you know, view, or the best big ship view out of any of them in the game. You know, it's up there with the Prospector. It may be better than the Prospector just because it's on such a more grand scale. As far as the weapons are concerned, you've got 3 fixed size 5 M7A lasers, so some pretty good sized weaponry there, and you have those 2 remote turrets that have Badgers on them, 2 on each of them, so you get 4 Badgers. So not a ton of weaponry there, but pretty good overall for a luxury ship that's in the touring category. In addition, you get 12 size 3 missiles, and size 3 missiles are no snub, so I think that's a pretty good loadout on this. And then the last thing I want to note is it's got really good fuel storage. You know, going from no speed to top speed, you use less than 1% of your fuel. And when I say top speed, I mean full afterburn cruise. So that's pretty darn good, knowing that you're going to be able to collect fuel and get that, you know, recoup that 1% that you used in very limited amount of time. So as far as the range goes, and this being an exploration ship, I think it makes a lot of sense. Overall, the ship is designed outstanding. It's beautiful. It's fun. I think it's going to be cool, especially once you start playing around with it as far as like the exploration side goes, or just start you know, entertaining people in the verse. So that's the 600. More to come, specifically Blade, Hurricane, and Eclipse. Those will be out a little bit later. If you guys have questions about the 600, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and have a great day. Take care.